Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to discuss retail employee retention and coaching methods as I found through investigative interviews and through my background research online. Alright, so first I'm going to start with the information I found concerning employee retention, which, as everybody knows, in retail is absolutely a vital component of your store's success. It brings you knowledgeable sales employees. It makes people want to buy from you because they actually know what they're talking about, among other things. The academic article that I used for reference was titled The Effects of Retail Store Image Attractiveness and Self-Evaluated Job Performance on Employee Retention. It was co-written primarily by Jennifer Yorkeisen, but secondly by Jai Park. So I decided to kick it off with a somewhat shocking fact and realization, or at least it was to me, that the average length of retail employment is only about 80 days. So if you're thinking about how relevant that might be to you right now, especially with holiday season, that means that regardless of if you hired them seasonally or part-time or maybe even full-time, you're going to be saying goodbye to anybody that you hired for holiday in about, maybe a month or so, probably around January. Um, so, what goes into bringing somebody on board? You're looking at, I guess, background checks, new hire drug screenings, definitely the cost to effectively train knowledgeable sales professionals. So if we were able to just extend that 80 days, double it maybe to 160, you're cutting those new hire costs to your P&L by 50%, which outside of labor, which we can absolutely control, new hire costs is one of the more larger components that we're able to control in the P&L. So for anybody who wasn't already aware, for each new person that you're bringing in, you're spending about $100, and that's just for onboarding for background checks and drug screenings. That's before you add in any sort of additional labor for either a formalized training program or just to get them training on the sales floor. And then related to that, so if we're working to decrease our turnover, Yorkeisen chimed in with her article stating, attractiveness is an indication of how much an individual is drawn to an employment organization. So the real question for us is what's going to make us attractive? What's going to make us and our company and our sales team able to fit that mold so that we're keeping our employees for a longer period of time? All right, so the first piece that the article touches on concerning attractiveness is your company or your store or your product visually appealing? So, is it something that people want to be around? For this, I would ask you to take into consideration, especially with your sales teams, are your employees also your customers? Granted, there's special circumstances where this would, not be a possibility. However, the article does state that if your employees are attracted and able to relate to your products, they're definitely more likely to show pride in their work. Secondly, how appealing is the brand placement and imaging? Um, are your products and your marketing campaigns relevant? For me, especially, this is basically just taking into consideration if I were to bring this up to my friends or my family outside of work, if I were to talk about my job or the products, would they, one, know what I'm talking about, and two, would they care? Um, Third, positive media attention is a huge thing. So, what is everyone saying about your company's CEO? Are they tanking the company as a whole? What are the stocks saying? Are they rising? Are they plummeting? Um, is there anything going on about, a product or a specific brand of product that's within your store that could be, either exceptional or detrimental? Um, all of these things are definitely factors in making your store more attractive for a potential new hire. All right, so now I'm going to transition into my second major point, which for you guys is going to revolve around selling and coaching. For this, I'll be referencing Sales by Multi-Product Retailers, and that was authored by Timothy Richards. He touches on quite a few different subjects. Some of them are kind of irrelevant because they talk about perishable goods and supermarkets, but some of them are incredibly relevant because he talks about hard goods. But his overall takeaways are this. Number one, know your customer. Know what affects and motivates them. So, are they price conscious or are they brand loyal? Or do they fall somewhere on the spectrum? Um, because depending on which side of the spectrum they fall on, this could completely change your entire sale. Second, if they are price conscious or loyal, how affected are they by promotions and price fluctuations within your store? Especially with us, I know majority of deep discount stores, they lead with the expectation of a promotion or some sort of really good sale. It's possible that they see this every single week and they're not affected at all. So if that's your case, maybe trying to close by saying that the promotion or sale is whatever it is this week may not be your best tactic. And third, why are they choosing you? So no matter what it is that they're buying, they can more than likely go and buy it at about 5 or 10 other places at any given point in time. Why are they coming to your store? Is it the convenience of the location? Are they a rewards club member? Do you guys have a really good price matching policy that you honor? With us, I know it's all of those, but knowing who your buyer is and their specific reason for being in your store not only helps you tailor your sales method, but also your closing method. So, like I said, you can't really close somebody on the premise of, hey, the promotion ends Saturday. Why not go ahead and do this now when, they can go to Amazon and have the same promotion until March? It's better to know, if they're liking the brand, if they're liking the rewards program, and being able to absolutely tailor that to fit what it is that they're looking for and needing. All right, and just to briefly touch on where we've been and where we're going from a retail standpoint. Before it was the mentality of if we sell it, you will come and you will buy it from us, which obviously that is just not the case anymore. It relied more on feature selling, so this is what it does. Isn't that cool? And then buy it, or someone else will run out eventually, and then you'll just be out of luck. Now, with definitely a more saturated market, we're looking at benefit selling and instilling value. So to do that, we have to ask the right questions and get to know your customer, like we discussed earlier. And everyone has this product. What can I do that makes us different, whether it's a customer experience or something that my store can offer you that someone else can't? So it's definitely veering away from, this is why you need us to we need you and we're going to prove it to you that we need you. All right, just a few things that I found in my interview. Granted, it wasn't with our own employees, but it was with a retailer who is definitely very similar to us. After I went through and interpreted everything, 4 out of the 5 sales associates that I talked to had mentioned that they are speaking to their sales managers, 3 to 5 to 10 times daily. Those same 4 associates also mentioned that having reliability or availability was a very valuable characteristic of a manager. So definitely working to create that open door of communication or availability on the sales floor, whether it comes to problems or just interacting, is very valuable and something that we really need to take away from when it comes to an overall coaching and overall managing and an overall sales standpoint. Additionally, when it comes to coaching, the interview participants unveiled that there, for the most part, was no formalized coaching program within their organization. I know that's a little bit different from us, considering, we have it monthly on the dot, it's marked in your calendar. Um, However, 4 out of 5 again also answered they do participate in coachings frequently. So whether or not they are, put in paper and referenced, they do feel as though they're being coached and they're being helped to successfully do their job. Um, when I was able to follow up on that, I thought it was at least a little bit interesting. Um, I learned about a very successful coaching tactic that they use, which I know a lot of people also do use it, called on the spot coaching. Um, it definitely does revolve around those active and very informed managers being on the floor. Um, they're able to, I guess, immediately coach and give assistance during the time of crisis. So, whatever it is that's happening, it's being able to reference your manager and being able to just jump in and rectify the situation. And for those of you who have maybe read The Minute Manager, this may not be um, very new information for you, but it definitely does revolve around the idea of, 1 minute congratulations, 1 minute reprimands, and then of course 1 minute to discuss. So having those active and engaged managers, it makes it easier to coach and to teach and to foster a learning environment. And then, once your customer goes away, they're able to kind of discuss, what led up to the situation, why this is the best solution for the problem, and how we can prevent it from happening again. To close out what I found, especially during my interview process, I wanted to be able to provide you guys with at least a few different buzzwords for how people that I interviewed were describing the personality of their sales manager. Now, granted, I know this team personally. They're a great team. They're constantly hitting their budgets, exceeding the numbers for more. Um, but what I'd like is for you guys to take into consideration of, is this how your team views you? Are you passionate? Are you personable, knowledgeable, competitive, talkative? And are you realistic? Are the goals that you're setting realistic? Are you creating that fun environment that they're going to want to be in, that's going to, decrease your turnover? Are you setting a great example when it comes to product knowledge, to being personable, to having the right conversations, to asking the right questions? Granted, this isn't going to be the beacon of success for every single sales team out there. However, I have seen it be successful for other retailers like us. So, just a few key takeaways. Definitely take into consideration how your employees are viewing you and what kind of, I guess, persona it is that you're giving off in your sales environment. In closing, I really just wanted to reiterate and touch base on everything that we talked about today. Um, I know a lot of it may seem like common sense, but I think oftentimes it's the stuff that's the most common sense that we really do need to touch on, especially when other things like hitting budget or holiday season or, what have you is in the forefront of your mind. So, first, be an attractive retailer. Granted, I know that you can't control, some of the national marketing campaigns or the overall view of the company, but definitely do control what you can. Make sure your stores are well merchandised and that you're making it a fun place and a beautiful place to be for your employees, so that, if they are in the market for whatever it is that, you're selling, that they can buy, that they would choose to buy it from you rather than somewhere else. Be involved. Make sure that you're always at your employees' disposal, that you're either on the floor with them or, just a phone call or a text message away, so that you can be that coach and you can be that reference point for when it's needed. And third, make sure that you're setting the right example. Um, Make sure that, if they were to go home and talk about you to their families, or if they were to take this same interview questionnaire, that they would be able to say that you are that knowledgeable point of reference, or that you are that passionate person that they're taking their leadership and they're taking their future career goals from. Um, Other than that, I pretty much that closes us out, guys. I would like to take the next few minutes to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.